away just to see him smile. I remember going on the bridge my grandpa built that's in my grandma and grandpa's backyard and holding his hand tight so I won't fall. Another memory we had together was when I always wanted to play the drums with him, but was always too scared to ask him, but would always find the courage to ask him. My aunt told me this story because I was just a baby, but still made my heart light up hearing it now. But when I was born, my grandfather, that we call Papa, was racing to the hospital just to hold me. The hospital that I was born at was the hospital he passed at. When I was younger, I would always play with the butterfly toys at my grandpa's work. I would always make them a family, a mom, a dad, a baby, a grandma, and a grandpa. I would always show my Papa his butterfly. I hope he flies high just like a butterfly. I also remember him dressing up as Santa. I used to cry and whine of scaredness until I found out it was him. Kept it a secret so I could take a photo with him every year. Also, I remember all the moments in the basement, looking at the trains, looking at his tall actor chair, and the drums. My grandpa had many hospital visits, but always fought through them. Any hospital visit we had, he would put a smile on someone's face. He would always make it look easy. I know this is a heartbreaking day, and I'm sure he would want us to be happy that he's not in pain anymore. I love my grandpa so much, and I will miss him forever.
Oh.
Thank you.
Thank you everyone for coming. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Adriana, one of my grandpa's 3 grandchildren. My grandpa and I shared many memories together, and they are memories I will cherish for the rest of my life. Some of my favorite memories were spending time with him in his basement, playing on his drum sets and looking at his trains. He would always tell me and my siblings that one day we would reorganize the trains with him and make them even better than they were before. When I was little, he would let me do just about anything. I remember him letting me do his makeup, and when I would go to work with him, I would hide in a cardboard box and become a package for him to open. One thing he always made sure we knew was that he was the first person to hold me after my parents once I was born. He told me that story proudly over and over again. And he never let us forget it. It was one of those stories that meant so much to him, and you can hear it in his voice when he told it. One of the last memories I have with him was shortly after he came home from rehab. My sister had brought a balloon, and somehow it ended up between the two of us, and we sat there passing it back and forth while he was sitting on his famous Papa chair. It was such a simple moment, but it was one that I'll always remember. What I remember most about my grandpa is how much he loved his family. He loved to talk about his acting career, and he had a great sense of humor. He could always make people laugh and had a way of making even ordinary moments feel special. One of the things I'll always remember is how he dressed up as Santa every Christmas. Seeing him become Santa just for us was just another example of how much he loved his family and how much happiness he wanted to bring to all of us. My grandfather would be missed greatly, and I know that he would be happy to see everyone here today to celebrate his life and say goodbye. Although it's hard to imagine life without him, I'm grateful for the memories we shared and the love he gave to all of us. Those memories will stay with me forever. Thank you.
All right, so mine's a little bit longer. And I'll try to talk fast. So first, I do want to thank you all for being here. I'm my father's youngest daughter, Teresa. I think most of you know that. But on behalf of my mom, Tony, my sister, Jenna, and our entire immediate family, thank you for being here. I also want to thank my mom's friend, Fern, who coincidentally was in town when everything happened, and she has been a huge support, so thank you. My father, George, often lovingly referred to as Fudd by my mom, and several close friends would be so touched to see you all here. I can imagine him sitting here in the front row with a little smile on his face and tears running down his cheeks. My father was a very emotional man, and unfortunately, that's one of the personality traits I inherited. So I'm gonna do my absolute best to not cry. So I've rewritten this speech so many times. I woke up at 4 a.m. one day and I just started writing. There's just so much I can say about my dad, and it doesn't even scratch the surface of who he was and what he meant to us. I could speak for hours and still not feel that I have said enough. Funerals are hard and they can be very awkward. I know I never know what to say, but the thing is, there are no words that can ease the grief or stop the pain. I've realized words are beautiful and important, but what is far more impactful is showing up. My dad was an amazing man. He was one of the most charismatic, dynamic, funny, unique, loyal, creative, intelligent, hardworking, and tenacious people I will ever know. He was born to George and Rose Fiderio, who immigrated here from Sicily. He was the youngest of three, the baby. He had a brother, Bob, a sister, Jean. Oh, youngest of four, whatever. Anyhow, he had a brother, Bob, a sister, Jean, and one of his very favorite people and best friend, his sister, my Aunt Marguerite. My dad was raised in a home deeply rooted in Sicilian culture and values, alongside the opportunities only available here in America. He was taught to be hardworking, resourceful, and to always fight for what you want. He is the first in the family to go to college and obtain not only his bachelor's, but his master's as well. He went to St. Gregory the Great in South Euclid, Memorial, and then Brush High School, where he forged so many strong, lifelong friendships. After high school, he went to the University of Akron, where he obtained his degree in business and later his master's from Cleveland State. He went on to teach business at Fairport Harbor High School. He met my mom, they fell in love, obviously, and they were married October 25th, 1974, then had my sister and I believe they stopped at perfection. My dad began Terrigen Labs Pharmaceuticals in the basement of our home in 1983. He sold and eventually compounded injectable corticosteroids and, of course, the personal Pummy Bar. There's samples in the back if anyone would like some. Imagine having a young family and you throw caution to the wind and start a pharmaceutical business. It's kind of crazy, but crazy worked out in the end. He ran a very successful pharmaceutical company and foot care company until just this year. Over that 43-year span, he developed and maintained so many amazing business connections, many of whom became dear friends. My dad never met a stranger, whether you knew him for 40 years or 40 minutes. He had a way of making people feel welcome. So many of you are here today because at some point in your life, my dad showed up for you too. He had many hobbies. He loved to work out, collected trains, was a voiceover actor, model, and film actor. He played the piano and is so well known for his piano scarf. And of course, let's not forget the drums. He loved to play the drums. He was a phenomenal woodworker and could build almost anything. My father loved his family fiercely. My mom, sister, and I, and of course our dogs, Honey, Sugar, Diva, Casey, and Mia, were his everything. Not only did he consistently show up in our lives, he unfailingly showed up for his mother-in-law, my grandma Josephine. Mom, you were Dad's reason. Everything he did was to make my mom's world a better place and to see her happy. He could make her laugh, ease her anxiety, take away her worries, and lift her up during the hard times. He would have gone into battle for her without a second thought. He stole drinking glasses from the Ritz-Carlton, fought with anyone who gave her crap, and would brag about her amazing artistic abilities to anyone who would listen. 51 years of marriage, and I couldn't imagine two people who were more right for each other. No matter what, you were a team, held together by love, strength, and a tiny bit of crazy. But Dad was so proud of you. I know he loved you from the bottom of his heart and with his full soul. My sister Jenna carries so many of my dad's characteristics. They share the same humor, intelligence, socialness, love for talking and storytelling, the ability to cut through all the bullshit, and the fierce, unwavering loyalty and love for family. Jenna, I know Dad was unbelievably proud of you. I saw it in his face every time he told a story about you. He thought you were an amazing mother, daughter, sister, and friend, and you gave him 3 of the absolute best gifts. He had so much respect for you. He would do anything to make you happy, whether it was running to the store for hot dog buns, taking apart the toilet when you accidentally dropped your ring down it, leaping over the bushes in his underwear when a date brought you home too late. The look of pride on his face when you graduated from college and got your master's, I'll never forget. He loved you so much. Dominic, Adriana, and Gigi, oh how Papa loved you. He was so proud to be your Papa. He loved spending time with you, and you lit up his world. I'll never forget sitting in the hallway at Lake West Hospital with him, waiting for Dominic to be born. He was just so excited. He wanted to be the first person to hold all 3 of you. Please always remember how much he loved you. And know he will always be there for you. When you need help, ask him, because I promise he'll be watching you, guiding you, and teaching you. And I know he was here today, listening to you guys talk with tears in his eyes. You can't forget our dogs. My dad loved dogs. And I'm confident he was greeted with 1,000 little doggy kisses when he arrived home in heaven. Sorry, I know it's long. My dad was my hero. Sorry. I was his Tressie. No matter how old I got, I was forever his Tressie. I was a very shy child, and going into social situations, I was very uncomfortable, and my dad always eased that for me. He could walk into a room of strangers and leave with 5 new friends, and it always made me so safe and felt so proud. He used to take me with him to run Saturday errands. We'd go to our office to get the mail, and of course I always had to go to the bathroom. But he couldn't take me into the women's room, so he'd make an out-of-order sign, hang it on the men's door, so I could use the bathroom. When I was 4 years old, we were vacationing in Sanibel, Florida, and the sand was so hot it burned my feet. Like a little stinker, I ran down the beach, screaming and crying until my dad picked me up and carried me down the hot beach in the blazing sun. He drove me to countless dance classes, came to every event, award ceremony, and my milestone in our lives. My dad and I shared the love of bubblegum, root beer, and the unique talent of always spilling our coffee, either all over ourselves or all over the desk, floor, carpet, computer, you name it. I think the microphone's dying. I'm sorry, I knew this was loud. The battery's flashing. I can talk really loud though. Okay, so I'll start paraphrasing. My dad was very big on videoing every holiday. He would dress up as Santa, and he and my mom, a few days before, would video him delivering the presents to my sister and I. One year, Santa got a little too excited, pretending to jump out of the chimney, and knocked down all my mom's Christmas decorations. Santa didn't miss a beat. He stopped, fixed the decorations, and commented that he didn't want Mama Tony to be mad. And if you listen carefully, you can hear my mom holding back laughter. I'm skipping ahead. My father was my safety. I knew if I fell, he would catch me. When I went through my divorce, he and my mom were beside me every step of the way. My dad was the only man who has ever consistently shown up for me. My dad isn't just my father. He was my boss, my work colleague, my business partner, and most of all, one of my best friends. I feel so honored that he entrusted Terrigen to me. My dad often told me the story of when things were looking very uncertain to Terrigen and he didn't know what to do. He went to the parking lot and looked up at the sky and said, "Dad, I don't know what to do." He was talking to his father. Within days, his prayers were answered, the business flourished, and life flipped right side up. Dad, I hope you do the same for me. When I wander into our parking lot, look up towards heaven and cast my worries upon you, I hope you answer me just like Grandpa did for you. Almost done. My dad was a true Gemini, a study of contradictions. His decisions were methodically well-planned, but spontaneous. He was a person who researched and then acted on his gut. He took chances on people most wouldn't. He was courageous enough to invest in something risky. He was loyal to a fault, but once you crossed that line, he wrote you off completely. Some people mellow with age, and some don't. While he did develop a much softer side as he got older, he was still the feisty, hot-tempered Sicilian he was famous for being, and you'll never meet another man like my father. To all of us, he was our strength, our protector, our decision maker, and in many ways, our heartbeat. When my dad got sick, I made a promise to myself that I was going to be that for him. I was going to give him everything he spent a lifetime giving me, because he deserved all of that and so much more. If my dad could leave us with some final piece of advice, and these are ones my sister reminded me of, it would be, don't live by the railroad tracks. Don't live at the bottom of a hill. Always dress well. Walk like you've been there before. You have to have a little larceny in your heart. And most importantly, do whatever you want. Don't be scared of anyone. And tomorrow, after the ceremony, we'll be having a luncheon at Guido's. You are all very welcome, where we'll be serving my father's favorite food, chicken. And thank you for putting up with me.